movie junkies, welcome back to Twin Flicks, where we always here celebrating the magic of movies and most importantly, physical media with you. So today I'm really excited about, been very anxious for this one because we're traveling back to 1985 with a childhood classic, at least to me it was, D.A.R.Y.L. Now, Simon and I would go rent D.A.R.Y.L when we were kids, along with Cloak and Dagger, Flight and Navigator, all the time when we were kids, down the street from a mom and pa's video store. And over the years, I've never really talked to somebody who's seen the movie or much less even heard of it. And honestly, I thought it was just a movie time forgot about, and just this little cheap movie, kids movie that Paramount could care less about, brushed under the rug, and just forgot about for decades. It was a meaningless movie. Needless to say, I was completely floored by this decision to put D.A.R.Y.L on 4K UHD, because all we had up until now was either a VHS copy or this DVD copy. Now at first, I honestly wasn't going to do a comparison between this and the DVD. I mean, obviously the DVD is inferior to the 4K in every way, being an analog NTSC format. So there's really no comparison between the two, and it seemed pointless to do one. But that's what we do here at Twin Flicks, comparing previous home media to the new transfers. And it's also really interesting to see how home media has evolved from when this was released until now when this has been released. That comes at us with a much needed new 2023 4K restoration from the original 35mm negative, which was provided by Paramount Pictures to Vinegar Syndrome, forming a native 4K DI with HDR10 grading, no Dolby Vision on this one, and for the first time for home media, the theatrically approved 2:3:5:1 ratio. The restoration work was all done and completed in-house by Vinegar Syndrome and approved by director Simon Winchell to ensure full accuracy. And Vinegar Syndrome went the extra mile, giving D.A.R.Y.L the full ultra treatment, making this the 7th entry in their limited run VSU series. I believe this only has 8,000 units that were made and exclusive artwork. Alright, well enough of that usual boring chit chat. Let's dive in and take a closer look at D.A.R.Y.L in 4K UHD against the previous DVD. Over the past couple years, Vinegar Syndrome has become one of my favorite top-tier boutique labels who never disappoints, and this release is absolutely no exception. The handling of the HDR grading is applied impressively well, with a much wider and stronger color gamut that improves color depth and stability, and most importantly, accurately displayed colors, as originally intended to be seen from director Simon Winchell. A perfect example here is inside Tascombe facility. The scan room where they're taking scans of D.A.R.Y.L now looks its appropriate lab white instead of that ugly beige yellow color we've been suffering with for decades now. Primary colors are excellent, with rich vibrant reds, energetic yellows, cool and cobalt blues, and lusher greens, with secondary colors coming in all come through with terrific clarity. Saturation has been increased just right, allowing for warmer and more lifelike sustaining colors and image, and gives the needed extra punch to the computer screens and colors associated, looking more natural without the image being too hot or looking artificially boosted. Skin tones are also vastly improved here, looking warmer and natural, unlike the DVD that was overblown with pale skin tones and just did not look good at all. Black levels on this 4K are just superior, with all those deep, inky, truer blacks that we love to see, and richer, stronger shadows that penetrates deep into the screen, allowing for a much stronger delineation, drawing out much more information in the image, where we're now able to make out even the smallest details, and even some slight colors that were missing on the DVD, engulfed from the black levels. Perfect example here is when D.A.R.Y.L steals the SR-71 stealth jet. The exhaust flames looks slightly blurry, and it just looked overly hot. Now on the 4K, that is long gone. We can now clearly see the exhaust flames and the inner detail of the thrusters, along with a nice tight glow to it. It looks fantastic. Also inside the cockpit, the instrument panel is no longer buried under crushing blacks. Now with this 4K, we can clearly see what buttons D.A.R.Y.L is pushing and all the flight coordinates. And this is just one area where the black levels really improve the image quality. And now with the added lines, thanks to the 2160p resolution and the HDR grading, all these textures and details really spring to life with a lot more activity in the backgrounds that comes through very clearly. The image is also razor sharp, or as sharp as the lenses could capture, allowing for vastly improved nuances to come through, completely showcasing every minute detail in the production design, from textures inside rooms, computer screens, skin, facial close-ups, to all the details with all the mid-80s nostalgia filling the 2.35:1 frame. From any direction the camera is pointed, it all comes through visibly sharp and detailed. Also, that traditional 80s glow is faithfully maintained here, leaving that 80s nostalgia in its filmic state. Now, I do have to point out something. You will notice some softer moments throughout the film. However, keep in mind, this just comes down to inherited issues from the types of lenses used, and not at all a problem with this transfer. So when you watch this 4K, or if you hear some reviewers say this transfer looks too soft, keep that in mind. It's not the transfer, it's how the film was shot with the lenses they used. That said, the new 4K scan looks immaculate, only cleaning up any kind of wear done to the negative sitting in storage for a number of decades. The image looks fresher, crisper, and more natural than I've ever seen it before, and I've owned this on VHS and DVD. The bitrate maintains at 95, topping out at a whopping 128 Mbps. And the grain structure is intact here, maintaining natural, tight 35mm grain field, giving us a beautiful filmic appearance. All right, now let's get into the audio presentation of this 4K UHD, and D.A.R.Y.L comes at us with a newly updated lossless DTS stereo surround mix sourced from the original negative audio track. And this sounds absolutely fantastic, with some very nice dynamic range and weight to the audio. The film score fills the soundstage, sounding more spacious. Sound effects come through clear and precise, and some object movement between the two channels sounds terrific. Dialogue is rendered clean and clear, and the audio has been cleaned up from any age-related wear and tear from hisses, hums, or scratches. I'm giving D.A.R.Y.L on 4K UHD a resounding 5 out of 5 for video and audio. But now I'm curious what you have to say between these two. Head over to the comment section and let me know, when you look at the differences here between the 4K and the previous DVD, which do you think looked better? Again, head over to the comment section and let me know. Alright guys, well thanks so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes here and talking about D.A.R.Y.L and 4K UHD and comparing it to the DVD. Let's get that sucker out of here. As always guys, keep physical media alive, and we'll see you next time.